Oh, can you hear me? Oh, 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 Supreme L, they saying you can hear me or no? Yeah, I'm not over. How about now? How about now? Test, test, check, check. Yeah, seems like it's working a bit now, you know. But before it wasn't working. I'm trying to screen share, screen share, select tab, also share audio, about video. Islam, Islam. Yeah, man, I got tired of the crappy sounding, and I know quality don't really matter when it comes down to the media fight. But people need to hear. So all of this background noise and all the other stuff going on with what I had going on, it's crazy. But how's this sound? Can you see this? Beat check, that's the only way. Check, check, check. Go check. No mercy for the weak, getting worse every few months. No inheritance for the meek, us hands can't fit, we need a few shunts. Scrooge McDuck or swim, got a few dives and did 2 jumps. One line count the mileage, probably can't see right now. Some trees get genocided, wildfire, so they turn off the tap. People didn't get the warning, they see flames in the coattail forming. Red and dark smoke, stone scorching, enrage. You surprised the whole truth didn't reach front page. Thanks to IG and TikTok, you can see Facebook. You hear me now? Fact checkers indeed. We're not checking nah. Tourists, give them time to heal, need time to try. Time to heal, need time to try. Time to heal. Take it where you at, just chill. Take your time to heal, try, rebuild. I'm not begging. You're taking time to heal. Not in charge. People are factor frauds from the started off to the ending of your fall. Fire, fire, Carthage, third Punic War, Great Fire of Rome, Hangzhou fire, fire of Bern, fire of 1805, fire of Moscow, 1812, Great Fire of Turku, all them fires near you, New York. Great fires of Toronto, 1849. Fire. Fire. So easy to burn. Iron, cement, and stone. Stay out the fire zones. This time. This time. Tourists, take it down the hill. Anytime to try. Down the hill. Anytime to try. This down the hill. Come on, tourists. Where you at? Just chill. Take it down the hill. This time, rebuild. That's begging. This time, take time. This time, tourists, take it down the hill. Anytime to try. Down the hill. Anytime to try. This time, come on, tourists. Where you at? Just chill. Take it down the hill. This time, rebuild. This time, taking time to heal. When the fire comes, Drew gon' be the water. Sheeps are ultimately led to the slaughter. Nationality today still the order. Sure, not sorta.
Hey ya, ho, ooh, ooh, ah. Hey ya, ho, ooh, ooh, ah. Hey ya, ho, ooh, ooh, ah.
Yeah, you do. Look at those words, it don't mean nothing to ya. Melodies, just blunts, harmony. Some say if he was a nation, he would have your own ruler. If he was a true American, he wouldn't come from Mongolia. That don't rhyme. I would do ya. Give me some time, man. I'm showing it. I know who I am, so I know yeah. Well, you know, and who tell you possessor? Enjoy a piece I rub. Who tell you feel like go? Then stop, real side, one step to the finish with me. Get a couple hours work in the meaning. Up here, work, this place got a lot of polites. 2-pack, boys, read. Hey, yo, we came visit the Shower Squad. Yeah. Allah is in all. Yeah. Yeah, I said, arr. We don't know where you're coming from, but we know where we're at. Take on some. We don't know where you're gonna take on some. Water on your back. We don't know where you're coming from, but we know where we're at. Take on some. We don't know where you're gonna take on some. Water on your back. I'll be here anywhere, everywhere, north and next, on and off planets. Rabbit, damn it, everywhere we inhabit. Google power, turban up. Heard of us, we the Moors, not that other stuff. Don't get nervous. We here for the LTPFJ, not LGBTQ, okay? K-A-Y, it's a private life. It goes against the 7 principles. You shouldn't advertise, you should privatize. Grown folks' biz, not for chill. Going down the wrong hole according to nature. There's bigger things going around the pole. Only slave-minded people try to control me. So when they see the master come out of me, flowing, glowing, Leroy. We don't know where you're coming from, but we know where we're at. Take on some. You know we gon' take on some water on your back. We gonna.
Hey ya, hey ya, ho. Ooh, ooh, ah. Hey ya, ho. Ooh, ooh, ah.
Hey, what's the emergency? Say what? You're not gonna give me 3 pieces of ID? You're not gonna identify yourself? Go ahead, supervisor. Say the officer with the office. 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 You in office. You in a vehicle. Navigating all my travels. That's the state. To get ahead, you gotta move at the fastest pace. Verified license plate. Try not to contract that registration virus. Keep my distance off the paper. Somebody tailgating. See the cherry near the side. Pull over now! What? This is unheard of, right? Everyone business, keep doors open. Don't need a joke, exercise it right. No right to convert to a crime. Sell it back, not even for a dime. Jurisdiction can be challenged at any time. Look at the case laws and stop one. State show. 10:30, we got a 7:30. Supervisor. Say the officer with the office. Say the officer with the office. Say the officer with the office. The office, sir. You can hear me? Test, test, check. Check, check. No? Stop sharing. Check, check, check. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want me to play the music. You don't want me to play the music and talk at the same time for now until I figure it out. But, you know, we were going to talk about countries, continents, nationality, and April Fools. You know what I'm saying? April Fools. That's what I wanted to touch on because this country thing is like the number one obstacle. You know, I tried to touch on it the last couple episodes on this thing, but you know, the volume, everything was horrible, so there's no point. And then talking loud and everything, you know, it's not gonna cut it. So it's gonna go on my pace. So you can hear me though. Supreme L. You know, we need more of those countdowns. You know, if I do it, I'm gonna be biased. If Yeri does it, if he does it, he's gonna be biased. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we need to get to this. Chief, what are you doing, man? Don't worry about that. Leave the squirrel. They're coming. All right, make sure, yo. So it's like what we know about countries, right? You know, all day long. You know, this is my country, and you come to my country, and this and that, and that's the border, that's the provinces, that's the state of my country. All that stuff, that's what we hear, right? That's what they say all day long, right? Over there, that's another country. Over here, that's one country. You get what I'm saying? And that's not true, yo. That's not countries. You know, I'm gonna keep beating this down over and over, right? So we didn't just migrated from someplace and had just found land and by accident and all this stuff. Yo, this thing was given to us. You know what I'm saying? And if you only think that Egypt was over there and Egypt was some country that had borders, and when he got to water, that means that's the end of the border of the country and all that stuff. That's contemporary Eurocentric thinking, because that's not countries. You know what I'm saying? There's a few definitions of countries, and countries. This is not what a country is. From one boundary to another, or so from coast to coast, from one ocean to the other ocean. That's not no definition of no country. Somebody made that up, yo. Right? Somebody made that up. You know what I'm saying? A country is outside of the city. That's a country, right? Country, back in the days, it depends on what you want to talk about. We were going to look at some of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? A city was a country at one point. You know what I'm saying? But going back to originally, what a country is a replacement word, right, at the moment for nation. You know what I'm saying? So nation, a nation is a country. You know what I'm saying? Right? And a nation doesn't have a geological boundary. There is no boundary for that country. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a nation. They could be across the water. It could be on Mars. It could be anywhere. It's still the same nation. You know? So, so, y'all can hear me, dog. Let me see this thing. You can, hopefully you can hear me still or see me or whatever. But we're going into the definition. Hold up, hold up. Hold up. Doing what I can do. You can see me, you can hear me still, and that's good. Right? Yeah, so a country, right, is a noun, right? Right? A country is a territory of a nation. A country is a territory of a nation, a sovereign state or region, once independent and still distinct, and institutions, languages, blah, 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 right? So there's different variations of a country. So when they're talking about country, they got to be specific. You know what I'm saying? Right? So, so a territory of a nation. You know what I'm saying? Right? That's a country. Right? Just keep that all in mind. Keep that all in mind. Right? So the etymology of country, still a noun, right? 13th century, mid 13th century, one's native land. One's native land. That's a country. So so when you see people talking about, oh, this is my country, go back to your country, and all this nonsense, right? Right? That's not, they're not saying what you think they're saying. They don't even know what they're saying. You know, in order for it to be your country in the first place, you have to be native to the land, right? Because it's synonymous, a country, right? And nation is interchangeable. You know what I'm saying? It's interchangeable, right? So now let's see what country is ours, right? Let's see what country is ours, right? Let's see what country is ours, bro. Let me see if I 1 second, 1 second. One more second here. Yeah, so you hear me now. You hear me. All right. So now the the definition and usage of the word country are flexible and have changed over time, right? But I don't know who could change something that you're a boy from the beginning, and then later on somebody changed that to a girl. You know, that makes it like, what is that? That's some connotative thing, right? Because words don't change its meaning. You know, so the so it's flexible over time. The Economics wrote in 2010. So 2010, recently, they just still are are on that same thing that they're making people be proud of, but they don't even know. They can't even um, amongst themselves agree upon it, right? So the Economist wrote in 2010 that any attempts to find a clear definition of a country soon runs into a thicket or exceptions and anomalies, right? Because they're watering down and changing the true definition of a country, which is a nation, you know. And in the nation, there is no border, right? There's no border, right? Before I go into the book, you know, Moore's touched on this a couple times back in the past. So did I. Of black country, you know, black country. 1 second, it's running slow. It wants to run slow on me. Black country is an area in England's West Midland. It is mainly urban, covering most of the Dudley and Sandwell metropolitan boroughs, with the metropolitan borough of Walsall and the city of Wolverhampton sometimes included. The town of Dudley. Hold up, it's moving slow. I got a major point. So black country in industrial region closely responding or corresponding to a small South Staffordshire coalfield in middle regions of England. Its name derived from its pollution immediately to the west of the city of Birmingham, which itself lies off the coalfields and makes up the western part of the metropolitan country's west. A cluster of industrial towns that earned this appellation sprang up in the 18th century in the historic countries of Stamford. Test, test, test. My God. Things running slow on me. I don't know if you're there. Check, check, check. You hear me? Yeah, so I'm trying to show that for a country, there is no geological boundary. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there is no geological boundary or jurisdiction that a country has original meaning because it's a nation of people that can domicile anywhere, you know? Um, One second, this thing is running super slow at the moment, but we'll get to it. So, country, an area of land of undefined extent, a region, a district, an area of land of indefinite extent or of more or less defined extent in relation to human occupation, especially characterized by its peculiar physical features, or it's suitable for a particular activity or connect with its population. All right, so okay, so and then also a secondary definition of a country is a distinct and small settlement outside of a large town, city, or hospital. Outside of a large town, city, or hospital. That's a country, you know. So and then if you look on to further studies, then you'll see that a country also a city walls and stuff, right? So never before has a country, right, in their definition that's outside of a human being, has been the city, this outside of the city, and all the way to the water. That somebody just made that up. It's not the definition of a country. Let me show you. Right. Let me show you where our country is. Right. So chapter 47. Egypt, the capital empire of the Dominion of Africa. So the seventh paragraph, number 7, it says, their dominions and inhabitation extended from north, east, and southwest Africa across the great Atlantis, even unto the, the present North, South, and Central America, and also Mexico and the Atlantis Islands before the great earthquake which caused the Atlantic Ocean. That's our country. A clearly defined area um, that a nation is domiciles at with its own government occupying a particular territory. Nothing to do with borders, nothing to do with, oh, there's the water over there. And then because there's an ocean in the middle of our dominion of our country, it means that it's someplace else. That's some Eurocentric thinking. Can you hear me though? Can you hear me? Right? Right? Because that's not a country. Noble Drew Ali defined what our country is. You know what I'm saying? Where our nation is. Watch. So the word country comes from Old French contre, which derives from Vulgar Latin terra, um, contreta, land, lying opposite, spread before, derived from contra, against, opposite. It most likely entered the English language after the Franco-Norman invasion, right? So they adopted it. So you adopt something and then modernize it and change it and act like it means something else, right? So, so now it doesn't mean consanguinity. Country don't mean consanguinity. You need a passport. You need a license. You need a green card. You need you need a place and address. You need a banner. You need to know the anthem, all that stuff. That's corporate shit. That has nothing to do with what a country is. So when these 80% of Moors talking about, oh, you're from Canada, you're from Canada, you don't know anything. Like you're not a Moor. You're not from our country. This guy, those people are idiots. Because Noble Drew Ali in chapter 47 told us what our country is, right? Told us where our country is and the jurisdiction of it. Never said that word, and he never said the word continent because those words are not what it is. Those are convoluted things going into business and territorial corporations and stuff. You know what I'm saying? All right, so that's why I was bringing up when people say that they're black. There is a black country out there, right? Meaning a black nation out there, right? And it has no geological borders. So it doesn't matter where you are, you're calling yourself that. You're saying you're not even from so-called Africa. You're saying you're from Europe because black country, right? Montenegro, all those places are East Europe, right? And they get claimed because you're claiming to be a part of their family. So there is a black country for black people, right? Because a country is a nation of people that has no geological area that actually binds them together, but there is a geological area that they roughly, inhabit. So our country, right? Because country, because the country is the territory of a nation, a sovereign state, or a region once independent and still distinct in institutions, languages, etc. Right? So we got our fez, turban, button, nationality card, consanguinity, and we got our authority, we got our president, we got our prophet, we got everything all in one. You know what I'm saying? And Noble Drew Ali told us our country, right? Our country is, right? And he didn't just come out of nowhere with it. He said The authority was given to us by the great pharaohs of Egypt, no? Right? And then Egypt is what? A country, right? So called, right? But didn't we just say that a country doesn't have a border? A country doesn't have a border. These guys knew stuff. When they call country, they're talking about a city or outside of the city or in the bushes someplace. You know what I'm saying? That's a secondary meaning for it. First meaning for a country is a nation, right? And the territory of a nation. You know what I'm saying? So Noble Drew Ali said we are a nation, descendants of Moroccans born in America, right? Right? And then where's our country now? If anything, if everybody's gonna say Morocco's wherever. Okay, where's our country now then? Our country now is their dominions and inhabitation extended from northeast and southwest Africa across the great Atlantis, even unto the present North, South, Central America, and also Mexico and its Atlantis islands before the great earthquake which caused the great Atlantis Ocean, the great Atlantic Ocean. So even before the earthquake, that was our country. After the earthquake and then Atlantis Ocean came in, that's still our country with water in between. It's still our country. The whole thing, a border. A country doesn't have a border. That's some corporate shit that somebody's making up yesterday. You know what I'm saying? If Canada and US was a country, they would be American countries. Yeah, like Mexico, right? Because Mexico, that's a that's a nation, you know? But since they are not countries, it's not American. Yeah, because okay, watch this. Because I said this, it's very important, right? How could they be countries, right? How could they be countries when the etymology of a country is one's native land? One's native land. So how could they be a country when they're not native to here? How could they be a country? Etymology of a country is one's native land. So that's why they can't have a government. That's because they can't have a country over here. It has to be corporate. So when they're like, oh, you're from Canada, that country is whatever. How could they have a country? In order to have a country, you have to be the native of the land, the aboriginal and indigenous of the land. You see what I'm saying here, right? So Canada can't be a country even if they want it to be. Because the definition of all that is you gotta be home to do stuff like that. And then country and nationality is synonymous. They're making third, fourth, fifth, um, eighth definitions of the shit connotatively, making it up to like yesterday. You know what I'm saying? So no, can't like what are you telling me? Oh, you're from Jamaica. Yo, listen, even if we were going by the de facto history of whatever, we all was on the same boat, no? We're all on the same boat. So if we're all on the same boat and they just dropped us off in different places, how am I different from you, you fucking dummy? You know what I'm saying? Huh? But but um but they're gonna say, oh, you're Jamaican. You're not American like us. But then 2 seconds later, some Europeans like, yo, you look like Snoop Dogg. You look like Snoop Dogg. Well, we're family, you know. We're the same bloodline, so we're all gonna look alike, you know. So it's like, no, people ignorant and they want to stay dumb, you know. They want to promote the Moorish music thing because they're like, oh, these guys from Canada or whatever. And I was saying yesterday, I'm like, yo, if according to the slave history, the popular history at the moment, right? Wasn't Canada the place that you go to run to be free? So why would you make fun of the people who are free according to the de facto? Because when did they say that coming to Canada is not free anymore? When did they say that? Did they ever say that? Did they ever say that? I'm just saying, like, you know, it's not, that's not how it goes. But I'm just saying though. So people just want to be the devil advocate. They just want to just go against, because there's no seat. The seats right there. It's empty. You know, they just want to jump in it just to cause confusion. You know, got one of the most active grand sheiks. You know, and Moors ain't taking care of him. Like that's why. Oh, because he's from Canada. Listen, that's why when you go back and check all the Canada stuff, Canada was just a city. That's what I said, a country, right? Their second definition is a city, right? Amish country is not it, Amish country. Does that go from shore to shore, or just that's just hypothetically? Yeah, that's hypothetical. So is the what you calling country, U.S., Canada. That's all hypothetical. It's all moot. It's all moot. It's not. It's not real, right? And if you tell me by force that that's a country, then you're a criminal because you can't create a country in somebody else's land, right? Because what definition are you using? Because they say, like saying that the French people um, adopted that. That just got adopted. Yeah, the word country. Really. Um, See, usage notes the geographical sense of country usually refers to a sovereign state. Nope, the more sovereign, that is a nation with no administrative dependency on another one, because of dirty Morse, which is traders, which is the definition adopted in most world maps. In a broader sense, however, countries may also refer to um, polities, polities, or their territories, with some degree of autonomy and cultural identity, but still under the sovereignty of another state. That's what U.S. is to the Moroccan Empire, right? So they can play all they want. They're not sovereign to us. You know what I'm saying? We gave them a piece. We adopted them into our sovereignty. But distinct area. You know what I'm saying though? Let me find y'all, man. Let me find y'all. I'm not computer savvy. What you saying now? He's saying good work, more for you, motivation for me. Yo, give thanks, yo. Like, you know, We got to beat them up, yo. We got to beat up their nonsense, yo. Constant nonsense, you know? Constant. Right. The true American is Moorish American, is the original Americans. Some or Irish Americans, meaning bloodline is in Ireland, but they were born on the continent of America. Yeah. Yeah. Treaty said 50 years. Yeah. So we're Moorish Americans because we're of the empire. We're of the empire. So, it's still a bit redundant. We're the American Americans. We're the definition of the definition. We're the mold of the mold. We're the gods of the gods. You know what I'm saying? We're the fathers of civilization, mothers and fathers. That's God. That's why people go to the confession thing, confessing shit to their father, right? To their father, the whoever, cardinal or whoever, right? Because he's playing the role of God. Father is God. God is father. Father is God. Mother is God. God is mother. And then all of that is synonymous with Moors. Physically on the planet, we're the gods of everybody, physically. We're older than everybody, more ancient. Everything that everybody's ever did was through our tutelage, from our experience, from our sciences. Yes, we're the gods of everybody, especially the European. Especially the European. Gods of him for sure. He knows he wouldn't be here if it wasn't for us again. And then Noble Drew Ali said again that if he's not careful, I'm not saying it right though, but if you're not careful, you're not going to be saved again, because you got to go through the Moors. You got to go through the Moors. Everybody got to go through the Moors, right? And no, you're not sovereign. How could you be sovereign when we adopted you into our stuff? How could you be sovereign? You don't pay any bills. You haven't paid for a long time. Talking nonsense about what a country is. You know what I'm saying? You can't have a country because you're not home. It's period. You know, Allah says that. Moore says that. I say that. You know what I'm saying? Part and parcel of the whole thing. You know? So, no, you cannot have a country. Not over here. You know? According to the definition that I see. You know? My portion of understanding is that uh, the only country over here is the Moorish nation. That's why Noble Drew Ali said it like how he said it. He never said Moorish country. He said Moorish nation, because a nation is a country. It's synonymous, right? We're not talking about de facto and connotative linguistics and all this nonsense. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking facts, yo. I ain't got to be intelligent to figure that shit out, bro. You know, just gotta have some uncommon sense. That my bad for misspelling at the Job being wild. We'll talk about it being the oldest treaty, but still violating it in our faces. Yeah, because they're playing dumb. They're playing dumb because most of the gods are still sleeping. Most of the gods still sleeping, but there's karma. There's karmatic debt to be paid. So right now they can just pay me, just leave me alone. You know, what else does a God need? Yo, like, I don't need you for nothing. Like, you know, just don't be in my way when I'm walking. Because this is something that you can't tear up. It's called truth, you know. So when people say next time, well, their country, this and that, make them know though. But you can't create a country, first of all. First of all, a country is a nation, right? And secondly, you can't create a country if that's what you're trying to do, right? Not when you're not the native of the land. You can't. You can only be adopted in. That's what happened to them. Because Moors was ruling. They can't just come and just start their own. No. They have to be adopted in like little babies, like little children, right? Get adopted in, promised to follow the rules, and then just been sneaky ever since. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they call supremacy and shit. Being sneaky, blocking the live, shadow banning people. You know what I'm saying? Algorithm killing all the shit that we do. You know, got the people in nonsense because that's the only way an inferior people could rule is to make everybody stupid. You know, we if we were so inferior, why did we give everybody the knowledge then? Huh? Because we don't care if you have knowledge or not. Like we don't care if you have knowledge or not. If we're the mighty Moors, we're the mighty Moors. You know? Why would we hide the knowledge when it's all about bragging? It's all about us. It's all about us. My ancestors, how great they are and shit. Why the fuck would I hide it? You know? Why would anybody hide their history? Aren't you proud of it? You know what I'm saying? Everybody's proud of their history, except for one people. They're the ones that's secretive about everything. What the fuck? Why are you secretive? Why you hide? What are you hiding? That we have to go digging and study and study and study. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and all those dirty Moors and those dirty Moor lovers and not seeing something great when you see one, when you see two, when you see three. That's why Noble Jarley was around right now. Almost everybody would hate him, Nobody want not to do with him, just a handful. And then the rest of them all dirty, ready to pounce on him, as usual. That's what happens down here. Hopefully that shit changes, man. That's pathetic, man. We ain't trying to get nowhere like this. You know? Making number five, making him out to be number one. We ain't gonna get nowhere far like that. You know what I'm saying? So test, check. Hopefully, you can hear me. But yeah, then the April Fool's thing. April Fool's thing, you know. Let me touch on that quick because I gotta go. I gotta do something. Hold up. You can hear me now. You can see me now. You can hear me now. You can see me now. You can see me. You can see me now. Yeah. So when I'm talking to the dirties. They already know what's up. The elites, they already know what's up. You know, it's those fencers. It's people on the fencers who don't want to study shit, and they take your confidence in or your fruition. You want to call it confidence. Go ahead. But people take your fruition into as something negative or something like delusional. Like we're not no black guy. We're not black. You know, black confidence is delusion. Remember I'm talking about my own so-called people. So don't come with no nonsense about speech or whatever. Like the way how I say anything. I threaten nobody. All right, so everything is a go. Everything is a go. It's called free speech. You know, if you're from that type of people, from that bloodline that enforces that created that, then you're not gonna have no problem with that. But if you were taught by people who don't like when people say stuff that they don't like, and therefore they're bad, like you're retarded. You know what I'm saying? You're just retarded. I have the right to an alternative opinion or whatever, or some a conflicting information. I got the right for that. You got the right for that, right? Even if you think we're wrong, we got the right to be wrong, And then when you go check, that's not the case, you know. So I know they have people in their false hope, false confidence and shit, looking at Moors like me, like go back to your country and go back all this nonsense you're thinking in your head because you weren't taught by the best. You were taught by the pretended best, and that's what happens. You weren't taught by the best, and then those pretended best, they were taught by the best. You know. Yeah, I'm tired of being mixed up with them. Yeah, exactly, more. I know that there's so much great, very few, but still a lot of great Moors out there that deserves not to be burdened, that don't deserve, like, like we deserve the best from everybody, you know. But um, seems like that's not gonna happen, But they're still gonna get my you're still gonna get my best. I might not have the best studio, best recording, best whatever, best this, best that, but you're gonna get my best though. I might not have the best vocabulary, might not have the best attitude, I might not have the best, but it's my best though. It's my best though. Might not be good enough for you, but that's all right. You know, but just know that that's how things work sometimes. It's always the people who you least expect does the great and worst things, you know? So, um, do the April Fool's thing. The April Fool's Day, a day of pranks, hoax, is believed to have originated in France in the 1500s. The holiday may have stemmed from the tradition or transition to Gregorian calendar, which caused confusion about the New Year's date. Today belongs to the pranksters. So just on like a little surface check right there, you can see something major happened in the 1500s that even changed the calendar. So something happened in the 1500s that somebody or some people or whoever said, "Hey, we've been wrong this whole time from God made us. I have a better idea," right? And then 1500s, some wise guy came up with something greater than the ancestors. That's that's what happened, right? Somebody who's greater than God, the creator of everything. You don't even know how the first dust got here. You don't even know how the first dust got to Earth. But yet, 1500s, you decide to change the calendar because you're Renaissance, and you're just the smartest person on the planet now. All of a sudden, how did you get to that eureka moment? What kind of retardedness was happening in your head at that time to make you think that it's okay to do that? Okay, well, according to their history, 1500s, the Moors was getting kicked out of Europe. The Moors who babied them, changed their diapers, showed them how to shower, bath, clean, brush their teeth, how to count, how to make a circle, square, triangle, how to put pants on, um, how to shave, um, even how to braid hair, like you name it. The Moors taught them. You name it. How to breathe properly, how to stand up straight, you name it. So now, 800 years of that. So now, 800 years of that. And now you're almost getting to our level, right? And then boom, somebody came with the wise idea. Somebody so intelligent, so brilliant that they said, hey, the people from before don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Our idea is better. Let's just change everything. Yeah. What kind of dumb, stupid, retarded shit was that? And everybody went with it, right? Because they're haters, right? Because people was learning to hate instead of love, right? Morse taught you what good and evil was. Morse taught you economics, government, and then the best thing you can do is let's kick them out. We can do it ourselves. Oh yeah, let's just change everything. But why? What happened before the 1500s to make you want to just wild out and burn shit, turn stuff top secret, um, bury everything, act like you, and then suddenly you're just coming out with stuff like one by one, acting like you did it. Like that's good. That's what you call like good, or something really really messed up is going on. You know. So April Fool's Day. So now top it off, right? So the April 1st was celebrated as something for eons, going back to let's talk Christian for a sec. Going back to when God made day 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, and now 1500 AD, some retard who didn't even know how a Roman Empire or even know how anything was set up. They just was adopted into it, and then they got to get the seat. And then what they did is change everything like a dumbass. Guess what? Guess what? Dummy, that was the day you lost power. You think you gained it, huh? You gained the world just to lose your soul that day. That's what happened. You gained the world just to lose your soul. And guess what? Now you lost your soul, right? Trying to give back the world now. Right? Trying to give back the world. But you don't want to do it properly. You don't want to give back the world to who? You want to give it back to the stepson, to the baby father, everybody, but to the mother and the father. That's why you can't get good karma. That's why nothing is working out. That's why, Nobujali's on the soul plane where everybody has to go, you know? So who's the fool? The people who celebrate Earth Day on Earth Day when the birds are chirping, when the flowers are blooming, Happy New Year, right? Or the one who decided to celebrate the sun's birthday on its solar cycle, right? In the middle of the freezing weather and say that's a new Earth year. And then call it physical year because it's business. That's what I'm saying. So it's like Europeans, Nobujo Ali told me that you enforce the law, that you're happy to see us in this marvelous light. So make sure you act like it, you know. Make sure you send us some finances and, put the Moors, in a comfortable situation so we can quill the flames of the other Moors group, because Moors are gonna wake up and they're gonna be angry, you know, because they have the blackies and the dirty Moors and all these stuff teaching these people nothing called love. They're not teaching them love, so they're gonna grow up and they're gonna wake up with like, you know, they're not gonna give you. There's not gonna be any justice if there's no love in their heart and shit. So Moors are gonna wake up regardless if you want to or not. So the wisest thing to do, just like what we did when we were falling, the wisest thing to do was to fight y'all down and just not give you any knowledge, and then with you guys at your highest peak, be the most ignorant, like uncivilized people. That wouldn't be good because then you guys would have really burnt everything. So we had to teach. We had to teach to keep the knowledge going. You know. So April Fool's Day. That's not the Fool's Day. April Fool's Day is January. January 1st. That's April Fool's Day. That was the day that mankind went against God. You know, or the Moors, however you want to call it. We accept it. It's on the dollar bill. Okay, it's on the dollar bill. That's a Moorish tender. That's a Moorish. That's a sign of the Moorish treaty. And if God is on the dollar bill, that's just synonymous with Moors. They just didn't want to put more on it. They just put God instead. You know, their definition, even though it's not ancient, but you get the drift. So Islam, man. We're gonna play two music and jump out of this for now. I gotta go do something up quick. Y'all already know. Y'all already know, Morris. So we do. Yeah, I'm tired of being mixed up. Liars know how to act. And gratitude, Islam, Morris, for hearing what I gotta say, because it's kind of important still. I don't have no titles or nothing. I'm just L. Just got the L title. I don't got nothing else. So um, honored that you humbled yourself enough to listen to little giant me. So and then we can build on what I just said. Build on the stuff that I just talked about, because this is what we need to talk about. Because you know, we gotta cut it right at the roots before they start talking about all these other shit. They gotta even know that you can't even have a country. You can't even have a country. What definition are you talking about? Because it's only the first definition. Everything else is some made up shit. You can't go through university with that. You know. So Islam is M-O. Let me see if it plays. I should be able to play if I just press this. No. Wait a second here. Can't hear it. Can you? Should be able to hear it right now. No. Crazy. I don't know how it's playing right beside me on this. Like, I don't know how. Yeah, I gotta get those kinks out. I gotta get those kinks out, and then we can do it up. But this way it'll work though. But I don't know if you're gonna get the. I don't know if you're gonna get the visual on it. I didn't sort that out yet, so they're probably not gonna offer it. But you already know. Play 2 songs and hit that road.
Vilamos. Not black. We the Moors. Not black. Oh. Yeah, I'm rocking. Skin says. Can't even trust my brother that's in fez over a skinhead. No more facts, just he says, she says. I don't believe ya. Leave it to believers who's in millions with Caesar. Not please, but even Lisa. You can't breathe. You're just a piece on the paper. I'm the proof there's a maker. Hey, why they keep going so hard? They gonna pour you to Jamaica. I'd rather be me than a faker. I'm Moorish, aboriginal of the land. Not from a plantation. No name, I got an appellation. Landlord, not from a reservation. Look, that shit, reservation. What's the pan you making? The fuck you baking? You be the pan, no problem stand. I know you say I'd do anything for a bag, for a grand. Smart dummy, Pelican science, Wicca Moors. That we the Moors. We the Moors. Not black. We the Moors. Not black. Oh. We the Moors. Not black. We the Moors. Not black. Oh. Never lost the fight. Moors undefeated. Might have lost the light. Never lost the light. You a piece of shit. Trump convicted. But nothing was never done right. No jurisprudence. All the use was only might. When you brought here, where you from, there's only ice. Go southeast from there, there's only rice. I went back to 7-Eleven. There's no such thing as a lonely life. 4 miles, mice, times the price. Study, don't think twice. You out there doing dumb shit to get by. Pull up on the unit. Still on the trike. Solo, bro, whoa. Low, that's gone. I'm thinking too high. Wow, so why you so low? Dress up like old Saint Nick, but you a pedo. Should've lined up to sit on his lap. He was way darker than that. Swarthy as black. Make sure you fact check. We the Moors. Not black. We the Moors. Not black. Oh. We the Moors. Not black. We the Moors. Not black. Oh. Man. Nowadays acting like the princess. States legalize incest. They want to keep it in the family, literally. At the exam, I'm getting mad like a piss test. Incest has the poor. They're not gonna be rich yet. With debt. Things getting real, that's why Jewel and them all just pick up and dip set. As far as we concerned, we as real as it gets. Now, brother, don't make sense to bow. Like, holy shit, that mushroom came out of the shit of a cow. I'm the god, hear it in my heart as a pound. The old world, the killer was the clown. You laugh, did it with a frown. Rebuilt gigantic pyramids with a little bit of sound. Frequency, depending on the tune, put it where it needs to be. Bound together minerals that last from then till now. From antiquity, our heritage, not the history. We the Moors. Not black. We the Moors. Not black. Oh.
Hey, Kojo,
MB is invincible.
you love the custom rail. Gave us a card that he charged us $160 for.
Dummy.
you are criticizing the man. He has to know saying dishonest and all of that.
Dummy.
Did you create anything like an ID, a passport, anything for the people?
Dummy.
So even though the guy, we all agree that he did some dishonest thing, but at least we have something to show. Amaral contributed to our lives. You have been there, nobody knows about you.
Yeah, man, more. Right now, GS is on tour. First to first, brought the light from the founder of the OK Temple. More. Over a decade, it's been the light source. Where you been? Yeah, I was shopping. Care of 25, 30. You near any fixed address? Nah, they out robbing me. Cammy getting y'all prime for 9 feathers. Dropping feather lightweight, but what you learning from Cam, you won't be able to drop them. Stop them. We don't make niggas no more. Camera making more niggas no more. Or out in the within the juice said that's just the more that's doing good, that's proper. Just robbing more is another more, it's just the robber. Yeah, more. Right now GS is on tour. First brought the light from the founder of the OK Night. More. Over a decade. It's been a year out shopping.
More. More. That's how we do it, man. That's how we do it. Islam, gratitude, give thanks once again. Moorishness.com. Support your Moorish MCs. You know, we are a nation. One country is God, with God, along with God, around God, in God. You know what I'm saying? This is the land of the gods, period. So, earth, wind, fire, water, ether, waiting. Show some love. Islam. Yeri.